State of Fear Review. Threats and Warnings. State of Fear Review. The movie opens not with exposition, but with sound. Distant sirens, thundering rain on concrete, and a hollow hum of electricity over Sao Paulo at night. Director Felipe Braga wastes no time dropping the viewer into a world where danger feels omnipresent and survival is the only currency worth sweating for. This is a film that doesn't just depict violence. It interrogates it, drags it into the light, and refuses to let you look away. The movie has a runtime of 64 minutes. At its core, State of Fear is a crime thriller that plays like an elegy for a society under siege. The plot centers on Arthur, played with steely intensity by Sohor Hori, a former elite operative haunted by his past, who is dragged back into the fray when his estranged daughter is kidnapped by one of Sao Paulo's most vicious criminal syndicates. What follows is a sprawling, episodic descent through the city's underbelly, a maze of brutal confrontations, moral ambiguity, and ethical compromises that feel eerily resonant in an era defined by pandemic aftershocks, social fracture, and political disillusionment. Braga's screenplay, co-written with Ana Luisa Azevedo, resists the temptation toward facile action tropes. Yes, there are firefights and car chases, but every burst of violence is meticulously choreographed to feel purposeful, almost surgical, and each confrontation carries emotional weight. Arthur isn't a superhero. He's weary, wounded, and aware that every hard decision severs something inside him. This is not catharsis, it's consequence. Also read Cross Season 2 Review. Enjoyable plot can get too convoluted. The film's strongest asset is its tone. Braga paints Sao Paulo not as a backdrop, but as a character, sprawling, bruised, and impossibly complex. Wide shots of neon-lit avenues contrast with claustrophobic interiors littered with flickering lights and shattered glass. The cinematography by Rafael Pacheco bathes the screen in a grim palette, oscillating between muted grays and bursts of violent color. It's a world that feels lived in, where every alleyway whispers a story of loss, betrayal, or desperation. The narrative's emotional core is the fractured relationship between Arthur and his daughter, Leah, a powerful breakout performance by newcomer Mariana Nunes. Their reunion is not an instant balm for past wounds. It's awkward, tense, and riddled with regret. There are no neat reconciliations here, only fractured bonds reforged under fire. Nunes captures Leah's complexity beautifully. She's vulnerable without being a victim, tough without being cynical, and smart without being untouchable. Her presence elevates the story from a standard revenge flick into something more intimate and affecting. Where State of Fear occasionally stumbles is in its pacing. The middle act lingers in its own shadow, looping through variations of the same brutal encounters with little narrative propulsion. Braga seems to invite the audience to simmer in discomfort, which works thematically, but at times it threatens to stall momentum. Still, the film rebounds in its final act with a gripping climax that juxtaposes personal reckoning with explosive confrontation. The sound design is another notable strength. Composer Lucas Vidal delivers a score that is both ominous and melancholic, weaving electronic pulses with orchestral flourishes in a way that underscores the film's thematic tension between humanity and chaos. The soundscape often feels like another character, sometimes oppressive, sometimes hauntingly beautiful. The movie also earns praise for how it handles its portrayal of violence and socioeconomic disparity. Braga does not glamorize brutality. Instead, he frames it as a symptom of deeper systemic rot. There are no easy villains here, just people shaped by circumstance, trauma, and environment. The criminal syndicate at the film's center is a faceless gang, but a network of individuals with their own fractured histories. This layered approach adds moral complexity and invites viewers to grapple with uncomfortable questions about culpability and survival. That said, the film's stark realism and unapologetically bleak worldview will not be for everyone. Those looking for light entertainment might find themselves worn down by the relentless tension and emotional weight. Yet for viewers willing to engage with its intensity, State of Fear delivers a cinematic experience that lingers long after the credits roll. In the landscape of 2026 cinema, this movie stands out as a bold, uncompromising entry, a thriller that uses genre mechanics to explore grief, redemption, and the fragile boundaries between justice and vengeance. It's a film of grit and nuance, anchored by compelling performances and a vision that sees the world not in black and white, but in countless shades of desperation and hope. State of Fear is a haunting, visceral crime drama that resonates both emotionally and thematically. With standout performances and a richly atmospheric world, it's a challenging yet rewarding watch, one that cements Felipe Braga as a bold voice in contemporary cinema.